颗种子终于长出了果实，今天是个伟大日子。摘下星星送给你，摘下月亮送。Dear listeners and viewers, hello and welcome to this new episode of your program, Spectra. Art. Art is the supreme manifestation of humanity. It is the most peaceful and most expressive thing that humanity has ever created. Through art, we can express our thoughts, our feelings, and even our refusal to many things too. It's an international language that can cross all barriers, and it just seeps through every pore in our heart and our soul. Today, we'll be talking about art and the role it can play in a multicultural society like in Canada and the United States of America. Can art play a major role in bridging the gap between different cultures? Today, to talk about this topic, I'm really delighted to be accompanied today in the studio by Ted and Alice Lee. You cannot see Alice yet. She'll be joining us during the second half of this hour. Ted is the president and Alice is the vice president of the Kaleidoscope Chinese Performing Arts Society in Canada. Ted, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's a real pleasure. And to start off, Ted, you came here to Canada as an immigrant. And can you shed some light on your experience? How are your first years here in Canada, coming from a culture that is dominated by a specific race, specific background, specific, cultural norms? How was your experience when you first came here to this very multicultural society?
I have, like many other Chinese immigrants, have the same kind of experience when they first settled down here. We found that we felt very lonely because we didn't realize that we have now settled down in a very different country with a dominating the main society, and it took us a long time to get used to it. And we have a saying that for Chinese new immigrants, they were saying that the main thing is the scenery is beautiful, but people are lonely. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. It says about the feelings and the experience that all Chinese new Chinese immigrants they have experienced when they first came to Canada.
And how did you overcome this, feeling lonesome, feeling like a legal alien or a stranger?
Well, that's why that we had this organization founded, because when we were feeling lonely, we were gathering together and perform some arts, Chinese arts, and we perform dances and sing songs. Mm-hmm. And to drive away the loneliness. And that's exactly one of the reasons why this group was first founded in 2010.
So this group was founded about 9 years ago, and you chose the name Kaleidoscope for this group. Why did you choose this name? What did you have in mind?
Well, the name came to my mind because we realized when we started performing dances and songs, and we had a lot of opportunities to interact with other communities and groups, art groups, and we realized what a great diversity of arts and cultures there are in Canada, and our art programs and events not only entertain us, but they also create so many opportunities for members of our communities of various backgrounds to interact with each other.
So this is where the name Kaleidoscope came. Like
yes,
a kaleidoscope would mix different pictures and things together in a very artistic and would make them look very homogeneous in a very symmetric way too.
That's exactly what it is. Why we chose this name for our group, and we started produce and present many high quality programs and to our communities, and we started interacting with other community groups and artists and art groups, and so that we add to the richness of cultures in Canada, and we also appreciated the other cultures and art forms better, and so that's how we our group was started.
And like I had the pleasure of watching actually several of your performances, and like not only during like Chinese New Year Autumn Festival, and like you also perform in things like the Karasaga Festival, which is this very international festival that we enjoy during the month of May here in the city of Mississauga in Canada. But can you tell us, or tell our viewers actually, about what kind of art performances do you have? Is it only dancing, or is it much more than that?
Oh, we have a large variety of programs and art forms, and we are specialized not only in Chinese classical dances. We are also specialized in like Chinese operas and Chinese instrument music and Chinese Tai Chi and all other different styles of art, Chinese art. And you mentioned the Mid-Autumn Moon Festival gala that now we host every year, and it's the biggest event that we bring to the communities each year and throughout the GTA. Actually, we hosted this event in various parts of the GTA. For example, this past fall, we just produced an event in Markham at Markham Theater as well, so that we can bring our arts to a large audience, to the broader communities, to present our Mid-Autumn Festival associated arts and music.
And it's very important here to emphasize that the audience, I think they're not only Chinese people who would watch these performances, or people from Chinese background only. People who watch your performances, are they only people from Chinese background?
No, like I said, in the beginning, when we started this group, of course, at that time, we were mainly performing at small events and venues within the Chinese community.
Mm-hmm.
But later we realized how important the multiculturalism is, and how important for us to interact with other community groups and art groups. So gradually, we had more and more opportunities
Mm-hmm.
to engage other groups, other artists in our big events. One of the things that we wanted to do was to present this Mid-Autumn Moon Festival. One reason was to engage artists and art groups of other ethnic backgrounds.
Mm-hmm. So they would perform
Yeah.
like hand in hand or side by side, like with the Chinese
Yes.
performances. They can perform things from other cultural backgrounds.
Yes.
So let me talk also again about the membership of this association. So is it open for the public to join?
Yes, of course. Our membership it's open to everyone, and we actually had some members of other backgrounds, but still, we not only extend our programs to attract other members of the communities to join us, and not only Chinese Canadians to join us. We innovated our programs. We try to fuse Chinese arts and the music with other styles of arts, like in one of the shows, we had up to 6 different ethnic groups to dance together in one melody.
Oh, that's amazing. Can you give us an example of the ethnic groups? Like, what were the backgrounds of these?
Like a Russian and like Egyptian dance, Egyptian belly dance, Russian, Italian, and Permian. There is a Indian as well, and
wow. So yeah, that must have been amazing, really.
Yeah.
And it's a rainbow. It's a live rainbow. It's a live spectrum, really, of cultures side by side.
And we did that many times, and not only for this particular dance last year. Actually, it was we also did it one time at Mississauga former mayor Hazel McCallan's retirement gala. Several groups were dancing in this in a mosaic.
And how was the music like? The music they danced to, was it Chinese music? Was it like a mix of different?
Some we mixed some of the musics together, but we also danced to the other music.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we did a lot of such kind of mix and trying to collaborate and to interact with other art forms, so that we appreciate each other's art cultures better, right? And we also invited a Filipino soprano. She was very acclaimed, famous, and to sing Chinese opera and Italian opera together.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
There are many ways to mix different art styles together. And we also had Mississauga contemporary dancer Colleen Snell to dance with our Chinese traditional instrumental music in one of our Mid-Autumn Moon shows. It was very creative and was very successful, and the audience liked it. And we also learned a lot about each other, right? About the contemporary dance and the Western style, and she in turn learned about the Chinese instrumental music.
That's great. That's really amazing. But let me ask you personally, like you started off feeling lonesome. You started off feeling that you're like we said, and you're an alien. You're living in a strange land. But how do you feel now that you've really, through art, you've opened great doors for everyone? How did this make you feel now?
We are feeling much better now. I'm feeling much better and very full. So almost all members of our group have their own jobs. Myself, I have a full-time job at a bank, and but our life schedule and every day it's busy because we are busy. We are dedicated to this producing high quality art programs for communities and for collaborating with other artists and other groups and other communities. We find the life is much better, and we no longer feel lonesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And let me ask you again, like when you listen to, let's say, a Russian song, you said an Egyptian song, a Filipino, like all these different languages that you might not understand. Do you still feel something?
We are now. We can enjoy them now. We like them much better than before. Just like Indian dance, we enjoy it so much. And sometimes we have we feel like dancing to the music.
Wow.
Yeah. And the Italian style, or all other styles, and the Egyptian belly dance. We started dancing the same style ourselves. We have our own group now, Egyptian style dance.
Oh wow! So you integrated these things in your groups.
Yes,
as part and parcel of your group. Wow.
Yes,
yeah.
That's what we have been trying to do, and then we have achieved great success. We have to perform numerous events and venues each year, and can you imagine we perform like 60 or 70 events?
Oh, that's amazing!
A year.
That's really amazing.
And our members sometimes have to perform 3 or even 4 times a week during the busy season.
And these members, again, like you said, it's a variety of different cultures.
Yes.
So they're not all of Chinese background.
Right. So we achieved this by mainly by creating multicultural, cross-cultural programs to attract members of various backgrounds to join us, to attract audience and diversified audience to watch our show. And we try to reach out to the more communities by hosting our event in various parts of the GTA. And so our name is widely known even in the U.S. And yesterday, people came to our activity center saying, "Oh, I immigrated from the U.S., but I heard about your organization. That's why I wanted to join you."
So you're crossing the borders now, which is great actually. And maybe I'll be talking with in more detail about this with Alice as she joins us during the other half of this hour. But we'll be going on musical break. But before we go, I just want to ask you that is this being done on volunteer basis, or do people get, compensated for this? I'll hear your answer after we go on this musical break. Everybody, don't go away.
见过你，你的笑容这样熟悉，我一时想不起。啊，在梦里，梦里见过你。笑得多甜蜜，是你，是你，梦见的就是你，在哪里，在哪里见过你，你的笑容。
And we're back. We listened during the break to Tian Mimi. It's actually, I was really taken by this song. Very first time I heard it. I did not understand the lyrics, but, although I did not understand any of the lyrics, but I was really taken by the performance, by the passion, by the feelings. And then as I learned, the meaning of the lyrics, I loved it even more. And I think this was a real life example of, art being able to cross all the borders, and you can still taste the art even if you don't understand its meaning. So before the break, I was asking you if people would work on volunteer basis, or do they get financially compensated every time they perform?
No, we are purely on a voluntary base. Almost all members are volunteers in our activities. Although for some performances we have some travel compensation, like we perform, we travel a long distance, but that's mainly to cover the gas for it. And so all the members are volunteers.
Yeah, so people from all different backgrounds, they just do this for the love of art, for the love of cultures.
Yeah.
And so how's your life with these performances and with the performers? How is their interaction backstage? So we see them in front of the stage, they're performing together. There's excellent synchronization between them. They look like they're really enjoying themselves. How's their life together behind the stage?
Like I mentioned earlier, that their life is much fuller than before, and they have a lot of spare time. They used to have a lot of spare time before, because usually our members they are successful in their careers, and they have their jobs, and they have their families and their children. They have grown up. They don't have much, but now, because of all these performances and these activities keep them busy, and they found the life is so beautiful. I mean, although they are tired sometimes, but they are feeling very good.
And they have the passion for this.
Yeah.
Did they create any cross-cultural friendships, with the other performers?
Yes, we established very good relationships. Our members as well, individually, they have made good friends with other members from other art groups, and so we continue. Sometimes we continue to collaborate continuously, year from year to year, and. I personally myself I have a lot of friends from other communities, from other ethnic groups, and we have more and more collaborations each year, and we really have benefited a lot from these activities for our own lives. Everybody.
Absolutely. And just going back to the personal side again, did you learn English when you came to Canada, or were you already, comfortable with English before coming to Canada?
I learned some English before, but it's not our native language. We found it was still difficult to communicate, and with but now as we communicate more and more and interact with other groups more and more, our English has also greatly improved, and that's another benefit that
absolutely
that's for multiculturalism interactions with other communities. We all benefited a lot from.
And one of our viewers, Susanna Gabrick, who's has an extreme passion for cultures, actually, a person who I really enjoyed working with. And she's saying that I enjoyed working with Ted and Alice. I'm sorry, they are truly inspirational. And I totally agree. I totally concur, with what Snezana just said, because I really had my firsthand experience with your performances, and I saw how rich that is. And you just said, art really changed your life. Now, you felt lonesome. You felt that you're out of your place, out of your comfort zone. Now you have multicultural friends. You enjoy different cultural performances. You improved your language again. You became, part and parcel of this society.
Yes.
And all thanks to art.
All thanks to multiculturalism, and
absolutely,
and thanks for your program. And this is exactly another great example.
It's a real pleasure. Absolutely, this is what we aspire.
Yeah,
this is what we really aspire, is to, because there is a lot that we can all learn from each other. There's a lot that we can really enjoy from each other. It's like a rainbow.
Yes. And I heard you can write songs. Maybe next time you write songs and we are going to present your songs on stage.
It will be my greatest pleasure. It will be my greatest pleasure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ted, it was really a great pleasure to have you. Thank you very much. We'll be going on a short break now, and we'll be receiving Alice, who will be telling us more about, the Kaleidoscope Association, and we'll be going more maybe on the multicultural and cross-cultural interaction with her. Thank you very much again for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
It was a real pleasure. And so everybody will go on another short break, and we'll be back.
得多甜蜜。是你，梦见的就是你，在哪里，在哪里见过你？你的笑容这样熟悉，我一时想不起。啊，在梦里。在哪里，在哪里见过你？你的笑容这样熟悉，我一时想不起。啊，在梦里，梦里，梦里见过你。
We're back again. We're still talking about this really multicultural phenomenon, if you like. It's really bringing cultures together and further enriching the Canadian multicultural mosaic. And I'm really delighted to have with me now Alice, who's the Vice President of the Kaleidoscope Chinese Association of Art in Canada. So thank you very much, Alice, for coming. It's a real pleasure having you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
For
It's a real
inviting us.
pleasure. It's really a pleasure having you. And so, you know, I was talking with Ted about how did he start his life here in Canada. How was your experience too when you first came here to Canada? How are your feelings like, and how are they before and how are they now?
Okay, so when I first came to Canada in 1999, so it's like a really, I don't feel, like because we don't familiar with this country. Of course, we love this country. That's why we came here, right? But then still the language and then we facing to finding a job. So we have to start a new life here. It's really not easier for us. And first, so we need to find a job, and then after find a job, so we have to educate our kids. So that's a lot of things we need to do. And so at that time, for me, I don't like attend any like art activities. We didn't have time. And after the settle down, so like we find a good job, and then now the kids they like grow up, and then so we start to think about like how to reach our life. That's how then I found the KCPA organization is founded by Ted and other people.
Exactly. And so something I forgot even to ask Ted, I would like to ask you, and if you can speak on his behalf, were you both, performers before coming to Canada? Were you really engaged in any artistic performance in China before coming to Canada, for both of you?
For me, when I was young, yes, I also performed when I was like elementary school, and even when I was the middle school. And then, but then that's a big break. So after I came to here, now like I resumed my hobby.
Okay, you used to dance when you were
Yeah,
when you were a
when
student.
I was young.
Okay.
Yes, I also danced. Yeah, in the elementary school and the middle school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how's your life now after being part of this extremely cross-cultural, multicultural organization that really reaches out to almost everyone?
Yeah, since I joined the KCPA, so then I feel my life is like really like become rich. So of course keep me busy, and also my family really support me. They like whenever I have a performance, they come, the family come to watch the show. They really support us. So make our like life is happy, and I'm glad I come to Canada, and I really enjoy the life here with the multicultural value here.
So you're starting to feel at home now. You're starting to feel like much more comfortable. This
and
is
happier.
And happier, of course.
Yeah.
So if I'd ask you about the ages of the people, like, you know, is there an age gap? I'm sorry, an age cap that you put for members that join your organization?
Actually, we don't have that limitation. We welcome everybody to join us, like from young youth and until senior people. We have the people like middle age and senior people. We also have some young kids to join us.
Okay, so how young are these children?
The young one is like around 30s.
Okay, okay. And do they perform together? Like, do they, like the older members with the younger members, do they perform together?
Yes. For some performers, they like we mix up together. For some, they also have their separate performance. Actually, not only 30s, 20s, right? Yeah, from 20s to 30. But we want to like have the even younger kids that use. I remember we talked about that. So your daughter, I think your daughter
absolutely
attended the class. So she is one of our member. Also she teach the French as your young daughter's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, I was going to this part specifically. So you reach out to everyone actually, and both of my daughters, they go to a French core school that follows the French school board. But again, you reached out to them, and by time they had this real passion for Chinese dance.
Yeah.
And they really enjoyed it very, very much too. So you even reach out to younger kids as well. So not only in their 20s, but people in their very early stages of their life. When you as a Chinese watch a Chinese performance, there are some feelings that come to you. It touches something inside. How do these Chinese performances affect other people? Do you think they're affected in the same way? Are they affected in a different way? Are they able to fully understand the depth of the meanings, or have the full insight?
So how your daughter tell you?
She enjoyed every part of the performance, really.
Yeah. See, that's the what we do. So we went to some events as we invite other group to join our event. We are invited by the other ethnic groups. So we present our culture to their group. And then, so like, for example, in the family days, so we not only perform our dances, we also interact with the families. So they came to watch the show, and then so we teach them the waist drum, and also that the red strip how to dance. The kids really love it, and they are very interested. And also we also some people are really interested in the language, so we also teach them how to speak Chinese.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's
and
great.
Remember when the first time I met you as in the elementary school, right? That you organized a polyculture day that focus on Chinese culture.
Exactly.
Remember that day? So we present not only the Chinese folk dance, we also present the calligraphy.
Yeah, calligraphy, the tea ceremony.
Yeah, the dumpling. Random dumpling.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, the abacus
Yeah.
calculation,
Yeah.
different musical instruments, and yeah, it's like, you know, it's not really a secret. Everybody knows that I have, like, you know, a weakness towards Chinese culture. I really love this culture. It's a very rich one, and like all the other cultures in the world, really. Like, I think they're like all different cultures are treasures, really. And
Yeah.
when you
So
see, yeah.
in this way, so we engage them to the Chinese culture and learn more about the Chinese culture. So that's the way we have like the tell people and show them the Chinese art and the Chinese, of course, Chinese dance and our other culture,
Of course,
as well.
And, you know, like one of the very common problems that second generation immigrants have is that when they grow in a house with their parents who come from a specific cultural background, but as they leave them to go to school and then later on to like a university or like work,
Mm-hmm.
they, you know, they have a very, they start developing a different perspective of life. They see people outside thinking in a different way, performing in a different way, and they started asking questions. So, how much can art help in this dilemma? You know, for like you as a parent, for example, like how does art help you? Was art like an eye opener for you for how other cultures perform or think?
Yeah. Like we said, like Ted said, so we have like annual festival. Like every year I hold the Mid-Autumn Festival. And then so in that festival, we are not not only Chinese people perform, like a Chinese, like a folk dance, vocal, and music, instrument, Chinese music instrument, but also we invite the other people. So the other group to join our like a festival. Like the ones we invite is like an Indian group, like some pro dance creation, and also the Bollywood dance groups, and and the Egyptian dance groups like the belly dance, and also the Habiba belly dance. That's that's also we also invite them let them introduce their unique culture to us. That's the way, so how we understand there, right? So as you said, as a parent, like we also in this way bring my daughter to like the other different community events, and they are pretty interested for them. Even we don't speak the same language like except English, but then the music, so we understand the music. So I think that's the common language for everybody who loves the art, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And also we also invite like the Macedonian folklore dance, and then also the Burma, Polish, and Svala, and also the like Misaga French school. We even invite them to join our like a festival. So let them to present their culture, and let because the audience from the different culture with the different background. So in this way, let people like interact each other and learn the different culture.
And this was, you know, like as a parent, again, like this helped you maybe understand more how your child would think.
Yeah.
In this very multicultural society. We will go on a musical break, but before we go, I just want to ask you this question: is you know, you have those people from all different backgrounds performing. They're performing side by side and so on. Did you notice any resemblance between the Chinese culture and the Croatian, like, you know, Macedonian, Egyptian, Filipino, and so on and so forth? I'll hear your answer after this musical break.
Okay.
种下一颗种子，终于长出了果实。今天是个伟大日子，摘下星星送给你，摘下月亮送给你，让它每天为你升起。变成蜡烛燃烧自己，只为照亮你。把我一切都献给你，只要你欢喜。你让我每个明天都变得有意义。生命随着爱你永远不离不弃，你是我的小呀小苹果，怎么爱你都不嫌多，红红的小脸温暖我的心窝，点亮我生命的火，火火火火火。你是我的小呀小苹果，就像天边最美的云朵，春天又来到了花开满山坡，种下希望就会收获。不觉得你讨厌，你的一切都喜欢，有你的每天都新鲜，有你阳光更灿烂，有你黑夜不黑暗，你是白云，我是蓝天。春天和你漫步在盛开的花丛间，夏天夜晚陪你一起看星星眨眼，秋天黄昏与你徜徉在金色麦田，冬天雪花飞。
Dear viewers and listeners, we're really delighted to be back with you again. Really enjoying myself, this very, enlightening conversation and this very multicultural conversation. And I was asking Alice before the break about, any resemblance, if you noticed any resemblance between the Chinese culture, the Chinese art, and the art of all these different, cultures that you collaborated with.
So I think for the instrument, the music instrument, maybe we have different name, but some instrument is very similar. That's one thing. Another thing is whenever with the same music. So for the dancer, whenever they play the what kind of music to play, so that we can follow the music to perform. I think that's remember me in like last year in Karasaga. I remember when we finished our performance. So we performed inside, and then after finished, so we went outside, and then that's the other group is performing and just dancing outside in a circle. So then they invite us, we join them together. So we form a big circle, and everybody very happy to perform and dance there. And the audience also, some audience join us. At that time, really everybody is very happy, glad to we don't feel the difference. We had every people just love perform and love to dance there, and everybody laugh and so happy.
That's fantastic. Absolutely. The resemblance between all of us is amazing. Really, it's much more than we think. Unfortunately, we think that we're so different, but in reality, we're not. Mm-hmm. The things that can bring us together are much more than the things that can, like we have, unfortunately, we have this, this gap between different cultures, but I think art can really bridge this gap and bring different cultures closer.
Yeah, that's very true.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And what are your future plans? What are the future plans of the Kaleidoscope association?
So now, our organization, to be honest, I think the one of the biggest Chinese art society is we have around 300 members and across the GTA from the west to the east. So we performing from the from west to the Hamilton and east to the Marham. So also the north to Milton, Brampton, and so Oakville. So we perform almost every city in GTA. And so we want to still expand our member, not only the people with Chinese background. We welcome and encourage people from a different background to join us. That's really the multicultural organization.
Definitely. Yeah. And are you planning to perform maybe in other provinces? Because Ted was telling me that you have some guests from the United States.
Yeah.
And who heard about the association already. So are you planning to maybe spread your wings a little and go maybe to Quebec, to to BC and so on?
Actually, we had some opportunities before, the overseas, California, and even I think it's what's the name? What's the city? So that's I forgot the name. But the reality is because most of the people work here, so it's hard sometimes to take the same time, take vacation at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
that's the one of the reason. And but then if we plan a few times, but still didn't really to implement in reality because the families we have the work schedule differently, but we love to have this happen in the future, in the USA and in the USV. There's some events there, and so they invite us to come there. Just we are thinking maybe we planning to go the overseas to perform.
That would be great, really. I think you're a very live example of how really integration, how can help people, feel more secure, feel more comfortable. And again, this multicultural richness that you are giving to everyone is a real life example too that I think we really need to follow. And this shows us the beauty of differences. So
yes.
Difference is power, is beauty. It's not something we should run away from, but is something we should really look forward to and try to explore more ways of bringing people from different backgrounds together.
Yes.
How about your plans for expanding your performances? You do dancing and musical, performances, but in terms of age group, so far you've been working with people from 20s and up. You work sometimes with children. Are you thinking of involving children more in the future?
Yes, they are our future because we want
exactly.
to. Yeah,
exactly.
We really want to have this the group for the young kids, and so we are organizing this group right now. Actually, we serve the people in our group, so the age from young to the senior. But we serve the people, serve the community, not only we serve the go to the elementary school, and also we go to the the big stage, but we also visit the senior home. So every year we visit the senior home to perform, to entertain them to make them happy. So every year we visit the senior home in Brampton, Oakville, and then of course more in Mississauga. In November 9th, we are going to visit a senior home in Mississauga.
That's great. That's really great. And you know, we just listened during the last musical break to Little Apple, which is a Chinese song, but the music is like it's pop music, and it's modern, like, you know, Western style music. Are you planning again to find a middle ground between Chinese culture and the Canadian culture, which is naturally a very multi-dimensional, really, I would say, culture. Not only, so are you trying to find a middle ground between both, like trying to find a Chinese Canadian identity?
So as we said, we could, as I said, so yeah, we welcome them to join our like group, like we are existing like the organization. So we are not located in Mississauga. We also have a big group in the east part of GTA. So welcome them to join us, and that's I think the one way to like the people can enjoy the life here. And also if possible, so we can like maybe we have the opening day. So I remember it's every year, right? We have the opening day, so introduce. So then in that case, we can like introduce like
when is this open day?
I remember it's September. What day do you remember? I'll forget it.
Yeah,
so,
because
I don't
think,
remember this one, but we had a few times already. So then introduce once in the Sheridan Mall. That's what I remember. But the other place, so I forgot. Last year is in the Sheridan Mall. So then we perform and introduce our culture around like a few hours there. Then attract the people to stop by and watch us and learn something from us, and we basically interact with them.
Yeah, this is a great initiative from your side, really. And just finally, what are your upcoming performances?
Yeah. That's the Toronto International Dance Festival. So that's also annual events. We participate this event like the few years already. So this year we were invited to participate that event again. So the oncoming Saturday, that means the day before, like this Saturday, yeah.
So
we're going
October
to perform.
26th.
Yes. We are going to perform. We are to perform 3 dances there.
And where exactly? What?
It's in the Toronto Multicultural Center of the Chinese Theater of Great in Toronto.
Okay, great. So everybody remember, I'm sure you'll have a great time, if you would like to attend this performance. I personally always, I'm always taken by these great performances. At the very end, I'd really like to thank you, Alice, for being here, and I'd like to thank Ted, who was with you again today, and everybody. This is the beauty of Canada. This is the beauty of the United States. This is the beauty of the world, really. Multiculturalism, different colors, different tastes. But again, these differences are made to unite us. These differences are made to unite us. They are made on purpose to unite us, and not to, bring us apart from one another. The beauty of the rainbow. Always remember that we all love the rainbow because of the wide spectrum it shows. And life is full of different spectra, really. Thank you very much, everybody, for giving us your great time as usual. And we'll hope to see you next week, same time, on your favorite channel, Arabs FM, in Canada and the United States. Have a good night.
晚陪你一起看星星眨眼，秋天黄昏与你徜徉。